Yeah, I think right now it's either Doom, Necro, or Legion. They're the three heroes that Gambit might pick.
So tadi Gambit
What are they looking for in terms of rounding out their draft though? What do they need that they've not got?
They need another solution to the Morphling, which also allows them to play aggressive. So the Doom, that works. And again, the other suggestion is they all provide something to deal with the Morphling and also with the push. So,
Interesting dia, this is changes but
because what they don't want is to be in a position where they can't kill him and then there's this other win condition. But also
Seconds remaining.
it could be good. And it's one of those ones where you're going to say it now and you're going to pick it and I'm going to have Lesh?
Okay, Leshrac. That's kind of thrown us off a little bit.
So Leshrac minus Omni, we saw that yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember, it was Sumail.
It was, yeah.
This will just be a position 3 Leshrac. CS really likes this normally. I don't mind it, I just feel it's crazy punishable. I feel like right now, if Liquid does pick this Lycan, I feel like Gambit's going to have a lot of issues. They've got quite a greedy draft. They're going to potentially have okay lanes with the stuns, but then after that, they're going to all need to sit back and farm. The OD needs to get items, the Wraith. Thing, so it's fine. I'm taking it as a half prediction.
Who's had the better draft?
I prefer Liquid's draft simply because it has the ability to punish how greedy Gambit wants to be.
Okay, well, we'll see if that one turns out to be true or not, because it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to get into game number 2. Gambit just one away from knocking out Liquid.
Wonderful start to the day, and hopefully we're going to continue to see great things as this series continues into Game 2 of Gambit versus Team Liquid. And Liquid, after losing to Gambit, are actually going to adopt something from that Game 1. They're going to pull the Lone Druid onto their side. Blitz, how do you feel about that?
I think the Lone Druid's a really good hero right now. It's one of those heroes, non-committal, high-ground heroes I think are so strong. As we see the bet, odds have gone way down. In the previous series, it was almost double that.
Yeah, people have wisened up pretty quickly that Gambit is not a team that you should just dismiss. So
Prepare for battle.
So sekarang ni okay lawan Gambit untuk ESL major tournament. So mereka main Morphling, GH main Shaman, and then I think ni kan Kuroki main Local, Nitro main MP, Atamu main
30 seconds to battle.
Dia ni kita kompas tadi. Boleh juga jadi
The battle begins.
dia dapat ni je lah. Tiga.
This instance having two different opportunities to get the last hit. And then we've got just a solo mind control right now in the top lane where bottom Gambit Immersion is actually pulling with the Nyx Assassin right now. Similar to what we saw last game. It's just trying to set it up so the creep wave is going to push into this Leshrac. Because otherwise they're just going to get zoned out by a tri-lane.
I could see him, yeah. He's just going to TP out here.
And really, what can you do as Team Liquid to stop that? There isn't much. Just try and do as much harassment damage as possible, but Nyx Assassin just TP back to the fountain and he'll be here by the time the creep wave shows up. So they can just play pretty patient.
Still, laning phase is not bad at all for Liquid, as Mind Control can actually walk up in CS, because FNG doesn't really feel the best with the treants quite yet.
No.
So aku rasa
It'll be a little bit better maybe when it has level 3 and has higher levels of dual breath and fire to slow down the
Honestly,
attacks.
it's kind of okay for both teams, because their top lane's going well, but Liquid have to commit the tri-lane, and they're not getting any sort of kills. And the reason they're doing this is because I think the Morphling would be very susceptible to death at this point.
Yeah. This is definitely a great kill combo.
The worst thing about playing Morphling is when you have to morph back up to strength, because it takes you so long to switch back and forth at level 1. Has a very nice side pull here.
Yeah, look at this. Miracle's just really focusing on the denies. They do not want to let Gambit get to level 2 or level 3 off this big creep wave. They know it's going to push forward anyway, but if they can deny as many of these creeps, especially since the range creeps got attacked by the next wave coming in.
Yeah, they got most of these because of the range creeps dying like that.
Yeah.
This is not going to give them nearly as much as they thought it was.
They do have the shackles as well here. Immersion's going to be in a bit of trouble if Miracle can finish him off, but Adaptive Strike isn't quite good enough, and Kuro does not have level 2 for the nuke of Purifying Flames.
Yeah, part of the problem with him having to stop that wave stack is it was going to get popped by Immersion. Thought about it for a second, but
just going to keep faking it, I guess. Wraith King trying to copy. Even if he dies, right? Like, even if they do manage to catch him out, he's just going to show up the lane again and continue to farm.
And the lane's pulling back to him, and he's almost level 4. Plus, he almost has boots. I think his laning phase has gone exceedingly well, considering he is 2-on-1. what Liquid's going to try to do this game is just go 4-man. They have so many different ways to non-commit push towers.
Yeah.
They're going to force you to come in. When you get there, Miracle will be farming on one side of the map. You try to deal with the push, all of a sudden, they've left. They've just left the treants behind, and they won't really give you that straight-up 5v5 that you were looking for like they got in last game.
Right. And we saw how quickly, like, if you have to move around the map non-stop, we saw Liquid just straight up give up their mid tower because they felt like they couldn't stop the lone druid from taking it.
Yeah. They sort of have a similar problem again, like they did in last game, Gambit. Obviously, it didn't end up mattering because their mid game was so strong. As Afo gonna get gone on here, getting pretty low right now.
Another Purifying Flames to finish off. They need vision. They're going to spot him and get the Ether Shock out from GH immediately. They don't even think about looking at going to the other support. They just want the tower.
Yeah, I felt like I talked to you about this after the game. I said it was such a big mistake for Liquid to just give up their mid tower for free. This time around, they're going to reverse things a little bit. This is the best part about the Lone Druid and why I liked him when you asked me about him post-draft. Because I feel like it just allows you to take this mid-tier 1 tower, it opens up the rest of your support game, and it just makes it easier for your safe lane to play Dota 2.
Now, Gambit is not without their own really crazy tower taker. They do have this Wraith King, where if you actually are allowed to get full skeleton stacks and then you just give them some free Hawk, Hawk did get a lot of damage onto that offlane tower. Yeah. Not quite enough to finish it, but pretty much...
Like everything to make Miracle's job a little bit better. Because I think that Liquid, they win games when you give Miracle the win condition. When you make sure that he has the absolute best hero when it comes to the ultra late game, that's when you see Liquid really start to calm down, and it feels like they don't have to force fights as a result. And I think that's huge for them, as that is indeed the play. They're going to make their way down to bottom lane.
Yep.
And this is one of the best things that the Lone Druid does for you, is he can assail this enemy offlane tower, which we were having a long discussion about after the game too, and why I thought it was so important. Getting to this tower as the game progresses becomes so difficult. It's on the opposite side of the map. You can't get ward vision. Oftentimes you lose your safe lane tower. And more importantly, I think in the late game, like post 30 minutes, it resets the glyph at a really inopportune time.
I mean, we've seen, how many games have you seen where it's like, they've got 2 lanes of barracks, but there's still a tier 1 alive, and that tier 1 is always the off-lane tower. Every single time. The Ice Path is going to go on here from FNG. Afterlife's going to be caught in the back lines. It's the level 3 left track. His game is being ruined right now. Great body blocking there from Mind Control to ensure a root out from the Matama Men Bear. They're going to go from not playing tier 1 to now a tier 2. And Gambit, I mean, they look at their heroes and like, we just don't have what it takes to stop this. There is the change though. We have the glyph multi-shot, but you can see the Bear just doesn't care.
Part of it about last game was they had multiple ways to take fights like this. They had the Queen of Pain mid, they had the Sand King offlane. This time around, they've got the Leshrac offlane, who, let me tell you, without items feels very bad. And most importantly, OD just doesn't do the same things.
Yeah.
Plus, you know that the Hawk, and it really feels like he likes his Radiance timers.
Just actively taking areas of the map away from Gambit with that tier 2 off lane gone and the tier 1 mid. The triangle is pretty well opened up. So he can just stop that part. You said they're gonna just sit Miracle on one side of the map, and the rest of the team's gonna be the other, and that's exactly what's happening right now as the 10-minute bounty runes are coming up. Miracle's already controlled this part of the map enough that he feels like he can get both. Liquid are gonna ensure that both the top are gonna go their way. That's 4.
You know what I noticed about this adjustment too, like in terms of draft, is I think Liquid realizes that Gambit picks 2 supports that are better in the mid game.
Oh, look at that surround. A classic Sprout into Tree and Spawn total surround on the Nyx Assassin.
I think they pick pretty bad, like, ganking heroes for the last 2 games. I mean, I think I saw 2 of their games too versus Secret or EG where they just couldn't really rotate.
Yeah.
And so your mid game is going to hit real hard. But this laning phase, I feel like, is very abusable. You essentially have 3 cores that need farm. Your Wraith King with Midas is not very scary. Whereas Miracle's timing is just going to come really quickly.
And with the tome changes, it's 11 minutes in, and they've got 1 level 6 support and another one who's level 5.5. So we talked about how their levels are going to be sacked a bit, but the combination of the double tomes as well as, you know, they got a couple of kills as well that I'm
And
sure
they're getting high priority kills.
Yeah.
Like they killed mid twice. Doesn't feel bad whatsoever.
And when you've got this much map control, Miracle is going to be playing in jungle a lot. Mind Control can do the same. That opens up certain lanes like mid, where Kuro can just kind of hang out, get free CS. 9,000 net worth lead already as we're getting a shutout right now. It's 7-0. It was a tough back and forth game that Gambit managed to pull the victory out there, but this is looking like it's going to be all Liquid.
I think part of it is that they sort of forgot what won them that game. It was the ability to just like fight nonstop.
Yeah.
They didn't over-greed it, which I think is kind of the key against Liquid, because Liquid, when they're at their best, I feel like they're securing the late game with some sort of pick for Miracle, whether it's Morphling, Anti-Mage, some sort of hero that just scales really well into the late game.
Burrow being chased down by the OT, but at the same time, Immersion's going to be found, scared away. Tumbaman gonna body block him here and allow his bear to be able to get a little bit closer as well, to be able to get the root. Will probably ensure that Immersion does die here.
Now they're gonna go for the Roche. Yep.
Now they've got Roche with Serpent Wards up. And there's just nothing Gambit can seemingly do. I mean, their cores were too greedy. We hear T-Governor talk about it. He liked Liquid because he said they gotta...
Sorry guys, listen.
rotating to defend towers and fight Team Liquid head on.
Like 15 minutes from now.
They're just that far behind.
It's more like they
Radiant's
need to hit their
bottom tower
timings.
is under
Yeah.
attack.
Like, the downside of Wraith King is like, the upside of Wraith King is he's
Defend it! Oh no, Immersion, no!
that's,
had it, buddy!
That's a free kill now.
You had it!
He, that was pretty massive actually. Because that's 4 minutes on the Aegis.
That was a level 6 Nyx Assassin that would have killed a level 10 Morphling solo and taken away the Aegis. I guess he wouldn't have gotten experience, but still, taking away that Aegis would have slowed down Liquid a lot.
That is so unfortunate.
Pinakosong
I think he went for the hit, but then queued up the stun too quick.
Yeah.
Because he had to have known that the stun alone wouldn't have killed. He had 260 HP. Plus, as soon as the stun connects, you know that Miracle's like on the case. It's like, I've been hit.
Nice tap.
Oh, they're just going for it right now.
Yeah, they really are. Treat the Baron the Serpent Wards once again. Very low committal, but high damage on this tier 3. Stunning the Baron, they need to finish off this bear, much like Liquid tried to do. GH actually from a long range gets the shackles, just gets a bit of harassment damage to Gambit. See if they can bring down one of these heroes low enough. They got him. Immersion. Just a little bit too low. There's some of the new bear here to finish up this tier 3. Biting him down, managed to get the ice path. They're going to try and finish out the Wraith King while going for the last strike at the same time here. Afterlife's dead. There goes the reincarnation of the Wraith King. And nobody from Gambit is really behind him. They're going to buy back for the last strike and finally TP in Apo. But again, an OD at a level 11. Got enough.
And the casual Kaya is now complete for the OD, but again, timing has moved up so rapidly.
There's only ever been 6 shutouts on land, most recently EG shutting out Liquid. I always remember the most famous shutout for me was ESO1 Frankfurt. Remember Toby and Sin were casting because
Was it
the 22-0
IG?
Yeah, it was IG versus EG. What a crazy way. I think that was the end of the series too, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was. Because you could see Apo's just had a rough go of it. Only been hitting creeps non-stop because he knows his hero just can't really fight yet. They've got to just bite the bullet, lose all their towers, and hope
so
that Liquid
far.
makes some sort of mistake pushing high ground.
Yeah, he's so far behind in net worth though. Somebody who isn't though is this Wraith King who just about has that Radiance. I think once you have Radiance, you just smoke and take a fight.
Yeah, you got to. Unfortunately, Dotard can't play hyper-aggressive right now because that was the level 1 reincarnation when it went down, so that very long cooldown is still there for another 90 seconds, so you can't really actually farm creeps in lane.
You can tell he's very afraid
Yeah.
to pop out. Omni. Because I feel like
Barracks, honestly, just getting on the board, I'm sure no longer seeing the goose egg is going to help Gambit a little bit psychologically.
but losing the tier 3 tower backs this early on, I mean, Liquid can't be sad about that. They got a lot of damage onto this tier 3 tower up the top. Got a Rax at 18 minutes. But now the game slightly changes because of the Radiance on this Wraith King. And despite having like that heavy tower disadvantage, they're not that far behind.
Yeah, I mean, the Wraith King is actually over the Lone Druid in net worth right now, which is super impressive.
Yeah, like he can still sort of do it. He just needs a little bit of backup right now. He needs a second core to slowly come online. But that might get a little bit harder as Mind Control now has an Orchid, and there is a big item pickup on the Shaman with the blink dagger.
Afterlife is level 11, so he's not so far behind in levels. We won't talk about his net worth, but he's got levels going for him at least. Force staff for the OD. Gonna have to definitely play an in and out game here. Needs to have a way to get through the Sprout as well.
Gotta be careful here because GH is waiting in the wings. They're just instead gonna go for the bounty runes.
I like how they play that safe. They didn't try and get greedy and go for the bounty rune.
I mean, Apple might just get gone on right now. GH drops the sentry to make sure that Immersion isn't on top of him and just go for him. And that's exactly what he does.
All Gambit left him as soon as they got that bounty runes.
That was so smart by him. Drop the sentry because the Nyx was down there for some time.
Yeah.
Sort of scouting things out. And Apple should know about that too. He saw the Treens just recently get spawned. Want to try to make a move on a Kuro. This is pretty big for them. They need to get rid of the Oracle as fast as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they have a hard enough time killing one person.
Dire's middle tower
And
has
with an
fallen.
Oracle sitting behind with the
Dire's
plethora of
bottom
heals,
shrine is under attack.
saves, pretty much have to go for him first. Lose the other shrine, all semblance of map control,
Dire's
and
bottom
Liquid
shrine
can just keep farming until, I'm guessing, he's been behind the Shadow Shaman for so long. We're going to see that play again at bottom lane. Drops the sentry, make sure that it wasn't a trap, that there wasn't a Nyx assassin scouting him out the whole time. They always have the extra help of that Wrath of Nature as well. Thing is all three of their cores have ways to be able to farm up treants too. So if they actually had a more successful laning phase, if they just didn't bleed out all towers, all map control, everything, then maybe they could have actually done something here. Tried to go for the impale on the TP, but it was baited out by mind control.
A little bit too far. But still all map control in favor of Liquid. Miracle is very farmed at this point. I think for Gambit right now, when you lose this much map control, the problem is you have no wards on the map. So it's hard for you to just blind smoke out because you're just risking the game at that point.
And with this wide window of when Roshan can spawn, it's going to be tough. Do you think they have to go for the Roshan defense, or can they play for the high ground?
I think they have to go for the Roche defense because I think the Oracle ulti in conjunction with the Aegis is just a little bit too much to overcome. That's what I meant about, you know, you ideally want to get something going, but it's so scary to just go for the smoke. But going for Roshan, when it is up, you know it'll be up. So it's a very easy objective, I think, for the team that's behind to fight around.
Trying to get this pick off on the Furion. Mind Control does have an Orchid, so if he's fast enough, he can slow down this hit from Immersion. Doesn't actually get it off. They land the Impale. Now Apho's going to be here. Split Earth as well. A really good kill. The second one for Gambit in this game.
Okay guys, I think nila ko saja testing. Ciao guys.